A young Elma Madrigal loses her husband Pedro while fleeing her house from an armed battle, but she manages to save her triplet infant children, Yulita, Peppa, and Bruno. Alma's traveling candle transforms into a magical object that allows the Madrigals to reside in a sentient home known as the Casita. Years later, under the Casita's protection, a hamlet expands, and the Madrigal family, endowed with superhuman skills, uses them to aid the locals, the family Madrigal. But Bruno's precognition gift leads to a number of disputes that ultimately result in the family demonizing him, while Yulita's youngest daughter Mirabel is treated differently because she is completely devoid of the gift. When Mirabel suddenly notices the Casita breaking during the evening when Peppa's youngest son Antonio gains the power to communicate with animals, her warnings go unanswered because the Casita is discovered to be okay, waiting on a miracle. Determined to preserve the Casita's charm, Mirabel visits her relatives and conducts inquiries. Bruno's room might provide some clues to the phenomenon. According to her superhuman strength, wielding older sister Luisa's surface pressure. There, Mirabel discovers a cavern of sand and fragments of an opaque jade glass slab that, when put back together, would form an image purportedly depicting her bringing the Casita down. Mirabel finds that her family members' talents are beginning to wane when she departs. We don't talk about Bruno. Dolores, Mirabel's superhuman hearing aunt, confesses to overhearing her talking to her father about Bruno's vision during a dinner where Isabella, her oldest sister, who can make flowers bloom at whim, is getting engaged to Mariano Guzman, a local villager. Mariano's plan is undone when the Casita starts to break down once more. To everyone's surprise, Peppa, whose emotions control the weather, summons a rainstorm. Then, even though Mirabel denies having anything to do with the apocalypse, Isabella places the blame on her. In the middle of things, Mirabel notices a man in the distance. She chases him into a secret passageway in the walls and finds out that he is none other than Bruno, who has never truly left their home because he still adores his family. Mirabel secures Antonio's consent to use his room and persuades him to start making predictions once more. Another vision that Bruno has is the Casita falling and an image of Mirabel hugging Isabella. When Mirabel goes to apologize, she discovers Isabella's determination to stay single and her weight of perfection. Isabella's powers begin to manifest as she lets all of her feelings out, and the sisters make up "what else can I do?" But after learning of Mirabel's deeds, Alma carelessly holds her responsible for the family's troubles. At that point, Mirabel loses it and yells at her, accusing her of causing everything to go her way. As Alma's magical candle goes out in Mirabel's hands in her hopeless attempt to save it, their dispute suddenly causes a massive split that destroys the Casita and essentially saps the Madrigals of their power. Later, Alma discovers a distraught Mirabel near the river where Pedro passed away, and she eventually owns up to her mistake of forcing the family, forgetting that the family itself was the true gift, not the powers DOS or Gaius. They make up, and with Bruno leading the way, they get the Madrigals back together to help the villagers repair the Casita. The Casita resurrects and the magic reappears as Mirabel sets the final doorknob. All of you. At the end of the film, Mirabel and Bruno are now part of the Madrigal's first family photo, Colombia, Mi Encanto.